Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Resurgence Innovative Group, otherwise known as the RIG. And give me a second here while I start to bring our panelists up today. We'll start off with, there's AK Twin Mommy,
Oh, hi, everyone.
and there's Rob,
Hello.
and we have Hank,
Hello.
and we have Nevaeh.
Hello, everyone.
I have to bring up the other guy. I guess.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to bring up the best one here. Come on now.
Oh,
Really, you should
Jesus.
put, you should
him
put
back.
Skippy up as your name.
I'm going
Come
to
back.
change his name for him. Oh, God. I got to move this a little bit there. There we go. Want to get my best side, So,
Nope, not going there.
no, you're not going. I figured,
Oh,
Hey,
I think it's fair to mention we had somebody have a birthday this last couple days, right?
Yeah, I suppose we could mention that. Yeah.
Nah, that's all good.
That's all good.
It's all good. Well,
Well-
happy birthday.
We've had 6 people who've had a birthday within the last year.
True.
Yeah. And mine's coming up soon, too.
I forget when mine is.
Mine's coming up shortly, but not coming too shortly.
Yeah.
One of the times that we missed having our stream was my birthday.
We'll just say that was the reason.
Yeah, my internet was down. I wouldn't have been able to join.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hi, hi.
I say it again. Say it again. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Okay. Now, I know we have an agenda. Now, we've been talking about qualified immunity for a few months now. And the one thing that is kind of, I say, exciting about what's going on as we're talking about this is it's come to the forefront of the news, where it wasn't really when we first started talking about this. And now it is in all the states that we were talking about. There's a lot of them that are changing their laws. Let's see if I can switch out there. There. I have a link up there with a bunch of other links. I guess we'll just go to the one that's on top of the list. It's funny. Both of these headlines, one of them reads, New Mexico becomes the second state to eliminate qualified immunity. And the next headline, New Mexico becomes third state to end qualified immunity. So I don't know which one it is, but obviously they're ending it.
Looks like New Mexico needs to increase their math scores.
Yeah.
Well, between headlines, they brought it back and ended it again.
Okay.
So the second and third state to end it.
God, these ads are crazy. I don't care about that. I don't want to see that. Okay, here we go. El Paso, Texas. The elimination of qualified immunity in New Mexico seeks to redefine equity while also promoting civil rights. Opponents argued it discourages law enforcement from doing its job. And yeah, I can agree with that, but we got to do something here. We've got to make changes. I'm not sure elimination is a good thing, but definitely let's make changes. That's why we're here. But this is last week, Governor Michelle. What's that?
I think one of the main things that we've talked about is the fact that in the wording, it has so much flexibility to it, which, yeah, it's important to have some flexibility, but yeah. I think it has too broad of a flexibility. And instead of fixing it, it almost feels like they're feeling like by just eliminating it, it just solves the problem. I don't think that's the correct thinking here.
No, but there's something I brought up when my morning rant stream that I did last week. I think it was last week, or it might have been earlier this week. I don't know. Earlier this week is yesterday. So I think it was last week. But and I was talking about, we talk about the laws, and if we break a law, ignorance of a law is no excuse, correct? We've heard. Has everybody heard that
yes,
term?
that's what we get
Sure.
told.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Okay.
can assume such.
Well,
I'm
it's
I'm
the
ignorant
truth.
of that fact.
Well, I mean, but we're told that if we're ignorant of a law, it's no excuse. We still broke a law. We still, penalties. Like if we didn't see the posted speed limit sign, or there are the roads where it's not posted. What's the rule of thumb? What is it, 30 or 35 for roads that aren't posted?
I think it's
Depends on what type
25.
of roadway it is.
Yeah.
True.
Well, but still, you can get a ticket because I remember I got a ticket in Waco, or just outside of Waco. I was driving on a road that had no street signs. Now, where the road began on the main road, there was a speed limit sign. But where I entered that road, there was no speed limit sign. I entered it further down from the main road. And cop pulled me over, said I was speeding. And I said, well, there's no posted signs anywhere. I didn't know. And he said there's one at the end of the road.
Isn't there so many feet law?
As
Every
far
so
as-
many feet, there's supposed to be a speed limit sign.
Yeah,
posted.
there wasn't a sign for like the 2 miles I was on the road. That's the crazy thing.
Wow.
But
Yeah, I've
but-
never seen any laws saying how many feet you had to have a speed limit.
Yeah.
sign.
Well, what I'm getting at is just because I didn't know the speed limit doesn't mean I wasn't speeding. So, and that's just an example of ignorance of the law and how stupid it can get. You can get, a charge or, a ticket or something for not knowing the law for that area, which is fine if it was both ways. Okay, but we're not seeing that because as we're reading and we're learning about different things, the different parts of qualified immunity, we're learning that ignorance of the Fourth Amendment is an excuse. Do you know what I mean? We're learning that just a reasonable officer, a reasonably well-trained officer, knowing, you know what I mean? And these are the words that we're hearing. This is why we talked about what's reasonable.
Yeah. The reasonable part did come up, in a question last week. But yeah, so I guess what you're trying to say is what's reasonable that we should be expected to know is also reasonable for them to be expected to know.
Well, ignorance is no excuse for the law, but it seems to be an excuse for qualified immunity.
I would call it a justification rather than an excuse.
Well, it's a question that I really, really want to talk to some people, some officials about. How come we don't get excused for ignorance, but a police officer who just, I believed I had exigent circumstances, for whatever reason, probable cause, whatever you want to call it, because the main word that we're hearing that is used in this is exigent circumstances. And that is why police officers are getting qualified immunity for openly and intentionally violating the Fourth Amendment. They know they're violating the Fourth Amendment, but they claim, I have exigent circumstances.
Yeah, I've actually seen in my own experience, and it was a problem child, he was called, violating my First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. And every time I spoke anywhere he was around, he threatened to lock me up. So I called the chief and I said, yeah, Dave's got an issue with me talking. Could you have a conversation with him about that? And he said, well, he's our problem child, and yes, I'll sort it out.
Oh,
So
he admitted.
oh yeah. And then he said, I'll have it sorted out. And so after that, the man was not allowed to answer any calls at my house or any calls that had to do with me ever after that. Somebody else had to, like if I called the police and said, I got these kids throwing rocks at my house and he was on duty in my area, he couldn't answer the call. He wasn't allowed. So the chief sorted it out.
Okay. Well, here is what someone says is to blame for this in New Mexico. It's a comment that was made, and I believe, I'm trying to make sure I get the right name, Steve Pierce, chairman of the Republican Party of New Mexico. Pierce notes anti-law enforcement sentiments have been perpetrated. What's that? I can put it up on screen.
Yeah, I was just, when you're done there, corrosive commentary got, good point. A bad search isn't a crime, so it's not ignorance of the law.
It's abuse of it. Okay, well, here's what he said. And he says that the left and the Black Lives Matter movement are to blame. The party that's talking about dropping qualified immunity is also the same party that's talking about defunding the police. It's an organized effort to make it so that police can't do their jobs, says Pierce. Well, I mean, this is what's going on in New Mexico. There's points on both sides. I mean, if you want to go left and right with this, to me, it's a false dichotomy. But if you want to go left and right on this, the left is upset because they're seeing an overreach by authority. And the right is like, oh, well, we can't do our job if we can't overreach. I mean, am I reading that right?
Well, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Please, because I'll do that too.
I think it's important that in this time we have to note the climate, right, against police officers. Okay, that's important. They are afraid to do their jobs. They're
yes,
like, well,
they are.
If I go here, I know, you know what I mean, and so it does create this chaos. That definitely does need to be resolved. They, yes, need to be held accountable if they are, using excessive force with no cause.
Okay, but here's what we've been talking about. Where's that line? That line is so gray. It's smudged. I mean, because it's like this guy said, who wrote this article, opponents like Pierce say that existing mechanisms says there were existing mechanisms in place to protect the public if the police pushed the limits of the law. No, what mechanism? That's what I'm saying, because that mechanism has a line that moves all the time. We don't know where that line is that day. It all depends on an officer's exigent circumstances on where that line is. And it moves with the officer.
Well, and we've also talked about the fact that when it comes to like a dispatcher too, it comes down to that also. How are they being relied information, and how are they relying that information to that officer? That's important too.
Yeah. I mean, that's been our argument from the get-go on this, is where is the definition of that line? How can we make that line more defined?
Yeah. Well, the problem that I see with the way they're trying to take care of a lot of legal problems in the United States, if you look at it like the arc of a pendulum, you have an extreme limit on either side. And too often they're trying to only use the extreme points of the swing to place the correction. When you have all that space in between that you can get a solution for a problem that actually might work.
Yeah. Well, here's another one. This is Connecticut. And they're passing a law limiting qualified immunity. Well, this I would like to look into, because it's limiting it. It's not abolishing it. Well, what is it limiting it to? I guess the bill is HB 6004. No police officer acting alone or in conspiracy with another shall deprive any person or class of persons, oh boy, anyway, of their rights enshrined in the Connecticut Constitution's Declaration of Rights, the state's equivalent of the U.S. Bill of Rights. Okay, well, every state has their own constitution. Anyone who's had their rights violated by a police officer can sue them for damages in civil court. Why is that so hard? I mean, if you prove that the officer violated your rights, I mean, isn't that what qualified immunity is?
Yeah, is
I mean, but-
Connecticut one of the Commonwealth states?
I think
There's-
they are.
Yeah, there's several Commonwealth states. So in Commonwealth states, the laws are a bit different than in the other states. I can't actually spell out the difference for you, but there is one. I'll have to look it up. I just wanted
Okay,
to
I'm just, but if you look at the way that was just written, it's already there. The only reason a police officer can get away, according to what they say in the law, the only reason a police officer can get qualified immunity for violating someone's civil rights is exigent circumstances. That is the only way. And, well, I mean, that's first part of it. I can't say it's the only way. They first have to be found not guilty of any criminal mischief or charges. And then from there, the second is they have to have not violated police department policy.
And the question is, who decides what the exigent circumstances are?
That's just it. I mean, that's decided in a court. At least we've seen that. We've seen that in Anderson versus Cretan.
Yeah, but SCOTUS also decided recently that they weren't going to even hear any qualified immunity cases.
Yeah.
And the big excuse was it wasn't established law. But understanding that, we also understand that you can't establish law until you get a hearing that establishes that law.
Yeah, see, that doesn't make any sense. And the fact that it's not established law means that it should be able to be fought no matter what, correct?
That would be what my understanding is of our country, yes.
Yeah. If it's not established law, then how can SCOTUS even judge on it? How can SCOTUS say one thing or another if and not come out of a case without a law being at least redefined? I don't know.
Well, that's how they actually got out of making a decision on qualified immunity or changing it, is to use that excuse. It wasn't established precedent.
Mm-hmm.
And so since there was no established precedent, they weren't going to hear it. They couldn't have an outcome. But to me, in my mind, what I've known all my life is that you have to actually have a case heard and establish a precedence to be able to have an outcome in other cases going forward.
Yeah, but I mean, SCOTUS doesn't. I mean, they're not supposed to make laws, although they have.
Yeah, they made the qualified immunity laws. God.
Yeah, but it's. Yeah, but and then they said that it's not quite a law. Now, I mean, toxic masculinity is saying that the line is blurred by the promotion of misperceptions by the media and artists. Well, we've read into this. We've read into the arguments in court. We've read into the doctrine. We've read into, and what we've discovered by reading into it is that it's different from case to case as to where that line is. And it's all based on that wonderful term, exigent circumstances. And case by case, it's not always the same. It could be the same type of case with the same phone calls made, the same information made, and one is deemed exigent circumstances and another one may not be.
Well, one of the things I've been looking at on this is just because you have qualified immunity for the police officers, you as a citizen, it is not preventing you from a remedy for the rights violation. It's just you have to sue the entity they work for.
And not them individually.
Right. So you still have your remedy.
Well, okay, let's talk
And
about
then why not let the remedy stay that they go at?
well, look at how much the family of George Floyd was paid, and he hadn't even gone to trial yet.
Yeah.
He was paid
Exactly.
money from I believe, the city and maybe the department. Millions of dollars the family was. So,
Well, if I had an employee that cost me money from a lawsuit, I'm going to take disciplinary action on that employee. It doesn't need to the
I had a question. I wonder if anybody knows the answer to, because I
okay.
haven't actually gone into that much detail to find this out. When after the incident, since George Floyd was brought up,
Mm-hmm.
how long after the actual incident did the officer no longer work for the department? And how did that come about? Did he resign or was he fired?
I don't know the exact time
Don't know
period.
offhand. No.
But Ken seems to think the city was paid $27 million by the city.
So the reason I ask that question is because they already got a settlement, right? So
Yeah.
there had to have already been action taken, and the qualified immunity was thrown out the window at that moment.
Well, truth be told, but it wasn't decided on the officer's behalf. The officer
Of
qualified
course
immunity
not.
had nothing to do with this payment. This had nothing to do with the officer's lack of or approved qualified immunity.
So
It,
the point, yeah,
because the case hadn't even gone to court yet.
exactly, the case hadn't gone to court. That's why I asked the question: does anybody know if he was fired or if he resigned, and
So
how?
he was immediately suspended, is what Lost Generation is saying.
Okay, so if he was immediately suspended,
All
I don't know
officers
under
involved. Okay.
yeah, and there's more court cases to come
Uh-huh.
in that particular incident. But since they paid out because it was already established that he was at fault. If they didn't think he was at fault, he would still be working for the department on administrative leave.
or they hedged their bets and got a settlement early on before they had a court case to back it up, and it cost them more. That was a settlement. It was not a decision by a court to pay them.
Oh yeah,
that money.
I understand that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It was a settlement because they admitted there was a wrong. And that was an immediate thing because he's no longer working for the department shortly after the incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
shortly after.
One of the things about a settlement is it's not necessarily admitting that you're at fault. It's okay. Here's what we're going to pay you to
Exactly.
To not sue
withdraw,
us.
to not sue us. That's not an admission of guilt. That's just we'll pay you this to get
Here's some
get it
money
to
to
not
keep your
happen.
mouth shut.
Michael Jackson did that twice.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't an admission of guilt. I'm just going to pay you to shut up.
Here's some
So-
money, shut your mouth, basically.
So as long as we're talking about it just for now under qualified immunity topic, what does this say about the other officers that are going to be going to court and have been charged as well later this year?
You're talking about the other officers that are in this case?
Yes.
I think they were talking about that today, as a matter of fact. What they could get the other officers on, aiding and abetting kind of thing, and wondering if they could do that. So I'm not sure exactly the answer to that question.
So I will lay odds that settlement that they got was covering all of those officers that have been charged. Not just Chauvin.
Most likely.
And what is the status of those other officers? Does anybody know?
Oh, I would imagine they are all suspended. I believe that's what we were told. They were all suspended.
Yeah, I believe that is the case.
Mm.
Well, I've been trying to follow the court case, but I haven't actually done the backstory stuff. That's why I don't know the answers to any of these questions. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, I wanted to go on to read a little bit more on this Connecticut, how they're reevaluating this. let me put this back up on the screen. There's something I'm kind of looking into. It says that the bill will let victims who win be eligible to collect attorney's fees also, but only if the officer's actions were deliberate, willful, or committed with reckless indifference. Well, it's kind of hard to get into someone's mind, although they said they did that in this case. They got into, in order to get Chauvin, whatever the hell his name is, on the murder conviction, was that it was willful. And I don't know how they can prove that in that case, but that's a tough one to prove. Deliberate, willful, or committed with reckless indifference. Well, reckless indifference, I would say that what Chauvin did was reckless indifference. I think that would be the case. Reckless indifference. He may not have been
agree.
trying. He may not have been trying to hurt him or kill him, but I would definitely call it reckless indifference. But I would imagine that you would collect attorney's fees also, because, well, normally if you didn't, the attorney would take a fee from, a percentage of your winnings, so to speak, if they did it on pro bono. But the good faith exception is particularly problematic because it could incentivize hear no evil, see no evil behavior by the police. Oh, I just love the way they write this shit. If police are not told that certain types of dubious practices are illegal, oh God, these articles are hysterical. I'm sorry. Or perhaps even told that they are appropriate, they could well plausibly have a good faith belief that illegal tactics are perfectly fine and thus get immunity. This is exactly what I was talking about. Good faith belief that illegal tactics are perfectly fine. That is what you call ignorance of the law. Am I correct? Am I wrong? Please tell me if I'm wrong. That
No,
sentence almost defines ignorance of the law.
So if we use that excuse, do you think that we would get out of a charge?
I had good faith belief that I was in a 75 mile an hour zone here in Texas and didn't know it was a 45.
Did you get out of do you get out of that ticket?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we get told all the time, ignorance is no excuse for the law.
That's a good point.
It depends on if you can convince the judge of that your good faith should have been reasonable, a reasonable assumption.
But gosh, we all start making reasonable assumptions. There's going to be a purge.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. This was the big thing that I saw last week. Like, holy cow! This is there is a contradiction. There's hypocrisy here. There's pot and kettle, whatever you want to call it. Well, we'll get thrown in jail, depending on, of course, the law that we break for ignorance of the law. We'll get thrown in jail. But, I mean, according to this, the good faith belief.
You're talking apples and oranges, though, when it's civil versus criminal.
Yeah, but ignorance of the law. There's civil laws, and there's things that you can be sued for that aren't criminal law. But does it make a difference? I mean, what if we break a criminal law that we didn't think we broke? What if in order to get qualified immunity, you have to first be found not guilty criminally. But, I mean, if we want to go further, so what if we drove it, 100 miles an hour, and we endangered the lives of everybody on the road? We may not have hit anybody or caused any damage, but did we violate their right to travel? Did we violate their right to travel unobstructed? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's a stretch, but the
Okay.
law is a stretch.
What if there's no other cars on the road and they're going 100 miles per hour in a 55?
No.
Are you causing harm to anyone? Are you obstructing anyone? Are you depriving anyone of their right?
No, but what I'm saying, and I understand where you're going, but my argument is more along the lines with, couldn't someone else that was on the road that I passed at 100 miles an hour, I didn't hurt them, but I endangered them and I impeded on their right to travel, correct? That's civil. That's a constitutional right.
Okay,
go
but
unobstructed.
you aren't a government, so you can't infringe their rights.
Oh, you can most certainly infringe on someone else's rights.
Not a,
Happens all the time.
It happens all the time in the street.
yes,
you can
but
infringe.
To infringe upon somebody's civil rights, you have to be a government agency or agent to do.
Not
Just
according.
Just like if I'm running this panel, I don't like what you say, I can boot you from the panel. That's not an infringement of rights.
No.
I've stopped you from speaking, or I mute you so you can't speak. That
Okay.
if I was a government agent running a government website and I stopped you from speaking, then maybe we have a infringement of rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Ross,
you're saying-
I want to address something. Ross illusion. We're grossly stretching this on purpose. We're playing with it a little bit, so don't take it seriously.
Yeah. So insofar as one citizen infringing upon another citizen's right, yes, they do. Yes, they do. If a person with a camera walks up to a house and puts the camera up and tries to film inside their house and is successful at it, they are infringing upon their right to privacy.
Yep.
And that's not a government entity doing that. That's another citizen doing that.
And we do that when someone posts our picture on the internet without our permission.
Okay,
Too.
that's because there's laws and ordinances against it, not just your civil right. You're not if I were to take a picture inside your house violating your privacy and I get arrested for it, that's because I've broken probably a peeping Tom ordinance or some to the like. That's what I'm arrested for as a private citizen.
I like this right now that the chat is losing their mind. Guys, we are trying to look at this rule and this law from every angle that can be argued. And we're seeing if it's feasible. Please don't take this seriously.
Yeah, this is a discussion about all the ins and outs of what we're actually trying to address here.
Because I wish a lot of them had been watching this from the beginning, because you can see the progression of what we've learned about this law, this statute, if you want to call it, because some people say it's not a law, some courts say it's not a law, but we've been breaking this down for 3 months now.
I'd be keen to see what anybody else might have to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should probably let someone up on the panel. What do you think?
I think it would be great if anybody's willing to come up.
I'll put a link in here. And we're only going to take up one at a time, guys. Just saying. But I think today is a good day. We talked about this, letting some people come up and voice their opinion.
That's how it should work.
Yep. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Ross. I'd love to read into that and find out what they're doing there.
Surely one of you want to come up and discuss. Come on, you guys. Don't leave us hanging here.
Yeah, don't leave us hanging, man.
Why
Odin,
not,
go
Brad?
post it. Go post it everywhere, Odin. Please.
Why do I gotta post it?
Hello,
I asked
Freedom.
nicely. When do I ever ask nicely?
You always ask nicely with that big smile of yours.
Not to
You should go-
Odin.
You should go in the Discord and be all cute and cuddly and post it in there. People come up for
I'm
you.
on my phone. I can't do that.
Oh yeah, women.
Yeah, Odin, so you do it. You go in there and be all cute and cuddly and smiley, right?
Tell them I'm asking you to do it.
Yeah, just go in there and say, pretend I'm AK. Just don't turn your camera on. I'll freak them out. Who the hell is typing?
Me. Enjoy it.
Odin with this clickety clackety stupid keyboard we all
Clack, clack,
hate
clack.
so much.
Enjoy it.
But you know what? He's doing what I asked. So thank you for your clickety clackety, I guess.
Like I said, this is the first time we've allowed an open panel on this stream, so it's funny. Everybody, the last 5 weeks have been screaming, "Let me up on panel! Let me up on panel!" As soon as we open it up, everybody's like,
I'm hoping to get Artie up here. He's a lawyer and he might know some more stuff about it. He practices in California, I believe.
Oh, okay, Ross, I understand.
New
man.
Jersey.
Family's more important.
New Jersey. Thank you, Hank. Sorry.
Freedom isn't free. We've been talking about qualified immunity for 3 months. That's what this think tank is about right now. Maybe in a year we'll be on something else.
About 10 years.
At this point.
Clash, we're talking about qualified immunity. And we're talking about the definition of it, how it's defined, that gray area. So that's what we've been talking about. And we're talking about the states that are redefining it and some of the states that are ending it completely.
I'll see if I can get going up here.
Yeah, Lost Generation, I mean, the title, qualified immunity laws are changing from state to state. So
Steve,
Yeah.
you might have to twerk,
I'm not twerking. No way. I don't twerk on this stream. This is not a twerking stream.
So I'm just
No.
going to throw this out there. I don't think that qualified immunity should be actually completely eliminated.
Nope.
I think
neither do
I think it needs to be codified.
Yes. See you later, Ross. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
And it needs to be codified really for equal benefit, not just leaning towards one side or the other.
Yeah, I think so.
And before you take away the police officers' immunity, the politicians' immunity that set the rules up and guidelines that they're going to follow, their butts need to be on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah, but most of them have absolute immunity.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate because shit doesn't roll uphill like it should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yes, Raz was saying something about that earlier, and I stand with that. That does need to be looked at on that level.
But if you get rid of qualified immunity altogether, an officer can follow department guidelines and end up having to pay court fees and defend himself in court for a civil violation when he's following the guidelines
Of his department. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but they have union that takes care of that.
Some of them.
Yeah.
My sheriff's department doesn't have a fucking excuse my French, does not have a union.
Hashtag not all.
Yeah, I don't believe anybody should have absolute immunity. I don't give a damn what kind of security clearance you have, because that's what absolute immunity is based on. And that's why Hillary Clinton isn't in jail. That's why a lot of people aren't in jail, is because of absolute immunity.
Her ass should be in jail.
Well, a lot of people should be in jail, not just hers. A lot of people up there should be.
And her friends.
Well, anybody who's got good enough dirt on her ends up committing suicide.
Yeah, twice with different calibers.
There's a whole line of bodies on the floor.
Yeah.
Did
And
anybody?
the ex-president, I would probably include in that needs to be,
Yeah,
you
if
know,
it,
looked at for violations.
Ken's right. If it'll cost the union money, they'll throw those people under the bus in a second.
True.
The unions don't care about. They just care about making money. They don't care about anybody in their union. Come on. So, I mean, I don't believe that qualified immunity should be abolished. I mean, like I said, if you run into someone's house chasing a suspect on foot and, you know, you chase them down and then you break some stuff up in the house, sure, I believe if the department should pay for it, or you know, yeah. I mean, it's not like you're gonna find. I mean, people find criminals all the time, but it's not like it ever gets paid. It's like, oh, you're gonna go to jail and you're gonna have a $50,000 fine. Good luck getting it out of me. I'm gonna be in jail for the next 10 years.
But-
So, I mean, I think the department should pay for those kinds of things. I don't think it should be up to the individual police officer that went chasing the suspect in there and maybe broke up the place, or, you know, or gunshots started firing and, you know, holes went through the walls and, you know, and then stuff like that. I mean, I don't think the officer who was doing his job chasing down a bad guy, I don't believe he should be. I mean, and I believe that's where the qualified immunity will work.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work. We saw gross
Well, the
negligence.
departments,
What's that?
most of those departments that we're speaking of, police departments, are part of cities, right? Established cities. Most of
Yes.
them also have insurance to cover that type of damage.
Yes.
No, that should not be on the officer.
Yeah, you know, but you say that. Okay, imagine how much the insurance price goes up when qualified immunity goes away.
Actually,
about
the insurance
Therefore, taxes.
the insurance price for the city is going to go down because the liability is now going to be on the officers.
Yeah, but I'm talking about how many officers will be able to afford that liability insurance.
But
Not
then
a
again,
damn one of them, so we won't have police.
Yeah.
you'll have to pay the police more money, which will make your taxes go up. Just to get
Yeah.
police into the departments. Instead of 12
So-
bucks an hour, you have to pay them 40, 50 an hour.
And not only that, you'll be paying you won't have them on the street 90% of the time because they're going to be in court defending themselves under
Stupid charges.
Yeah, I think we should
frivolous-
put them all in
frivolous
corporate.
lawsuits.
We should put them in corporate uniforms and let them represent the corporations they protect.
What corporations do they protect?
Most of them.
Okay.
They're not actually here for the individual citizen. Not anymore. We don't have peacekeepers anymore. We have police.
What are you laughing about?
Nothing.
Uh-huh. Okay. No, I just pinned that up there in the chat. So we'll see if anybody wants to come up here and talk about this. Like I said, we've had a lot of people screaming in the chat before, let me up, and when it was a closed panel. And now that we've opened it up, everybody is, you know, going, yeah. That's okay.
Let me see if I can get a guess up here.
That's okay. I'm kind of looking forward to AK, if you can get the 911 operator, that would be great. If you can't, my police officer friend knows one that would come up.
I'm still talking to her, so I'll have her as backup because she just doesn't want anything to happen to her job, and I kind
Well,
of
I don't blame her.
wouldn't even.
I don't blame her.
but-
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get her to jump into Discord with me one of these days.
Yeah.
I sent her an invite to mine, just to kind of be able to talk to her for a second.
Pay old and no
It is so
mind.
crazy. Nobody wants to come up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Isn't
really.
that something?
I sent in an invite to Kumanina to see if she wanted to come up.
Yeah.
I hope she's doing Well,
And just so people understand, there are people I won't let up. Just saying.
oh,
Just saying.
well, fair.
I've been-
Like if I had to boot you out of my Discord, there's chances are you're not coming up on this panel. Just to let you know.
I wonder who that might have been.
I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss.
I know. That's what I love.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah, like if
Maybe
I had to
that's why I
throw you
have
out of
such
my
a big
Discord,
smile
yeah.
all the time.
I say that, AK, and they call me a liar.
By the time you get your computer set, Ken, I'm gonna shut this thing down.
Yeah, but Nevaeh, like, you know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily talk about it.
okay.
Shut up, Odin.
Okay, I'm gonna go to a different one. Like we've gone over New Mexico, we've gone over Connecticut. Let me find a different one here. Let's see. House passes, new bill. That's what cops need to know about the changes. Oh, this is Colorado. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
I think Illinois was changing theirs around too. If I'm thinking that's where Raz is from.
What cops need to know about the changes to qualified immunity in Colorado. Oh, let's have fun with this one. Okay. And God, there's so many commercial screens on here.
Get an ad blocker.
I don't know. Look, see, here's the thing. I don't like to do that because I don't want people blocking my ads. I want the revenue. Just saying.
Okay,
Okay. Shut
okay,
up,
get-
Odin.
get a
Just
browser.
shut up.
Doesn't allow you to see them.
What happens in ad blocker?
It blocks the ads.
Yeah. So people don't get revenue for those ads.
That's not where I was going, but whatever. Should have phrased it better. My fault.
Yeah. So okay, so let's see. This is but this is a reform bill from last year. Wait a second.
And you got the one in New York that just happened.
Okay, abolition, qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is not a defense to liability pursuant to this section. Notwithstanding the abolition of qualified immunity, the law does not provide valuable protection for law enforcement defendants. State that a peace officer's employer is required to indemnify the officer for any liability resulting from any judgment or settlement entered against the officer from a claim arising pursuant to the new law. However, the law contains an exception to the indemnity requirement that states if the police officer employer determines that the officer did not act upon a good faith and reasonable belief that the action was lawful, then the peace officer is personally. Well, of course, this is what always happens. We talked about this. This is you're not going to get qualified immunity if you violated the department policy. But they're saying that if the employer determines that the officer did not act upon a good faith, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, we're going to investigate ourselves, and we found ourselves doing no wrong. Okay.
Well, that settles that.
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I could be totally misreading that, but so now we've gone over 3 of them. Let's go look for another one.
That one sounded more like a big old circle jerk where your employer says you didn't do anything wrong, so we ain't going to do it. If you're buddies with them, if you're one of those cops that don't necessarily like your superior officer, they're going to say, well, you didn't act in good faith.
Well, laws are made by lawyers to protect other lawyers or make other lawyers money.
Yeah.
See, this I like. This is in Forbes, and you're gonna have to dance around a bunch of advertisements, so it is what it is. But I like this. Congressman Richie Torres, Democrat from New York, said on the House floor, the purpose of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act is not to second guess police officers who act in good faith. The objective is to hold liable officers who repeatedly abuse their power and who rarely, if ever, face consequences. Now that is something I can get behind.
That
If you have
makes
an
some
officer,
sense.
that makes absolute sense. If that is how this is written, if you're this repeat offender that constantly does this or has done it more than twice, I mean, if you've been an officer for 25, 30 years and somehow have only, messed up once or twice in your career, if that at all, then maybe I don't think, that's considered, a repeat offender. But if you've been on the force 5 years and you've already had, two complaints against you for violating someone's rights, chances are the next time you are not getting qualified immunity. You shouldn't. I mean, that's what I would call a repeat offender.
Or even
you
twice.
disagree?
Even twice in 1 year, you should not get qualified
God,
immunity
no.
ever. Oh, you should lose your job then. Well, I didn't know about the bill, Constitution, and Bill of
Well,
Rights.
as long as we're talking about founded complaints. How many auditors go in and file bullshit complaints against the officers
Yep.
where the officers did nothing wrong?
Okay,
But
here's one. Okay, go. I'm
That,
sorry.
that
Continue.
officer might have 20 complaints against him without being found wrong in one case. So it's got to be founded complaints.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, and I go back and like I said, I repeat these because these are the ones that I've memorized. I haven't got any numbers. I can't seem to find the numbers anymore. I have the 2008 figures and the 2013 figures. That's 8 years ago. Okay, for 2013. But this will give you some idea. With all the millions and millions and millions and millions of interactions every year that police officers have with, we'll just call ourselves everyday
Suspects.
citizens. Yeah. Okay, millions. Now, in 2008, there were the complaints written against police officers ranging from a bad traffic stop where, I wasn't doing anything wrong, all the way up until someone got shot by a cop. All the complaints lodged against police, all paperwork. In 2003 was 0.049% of all the interactions. Now that is all paperwork filed on police, all complaints, not just the ones that that were founded to be legit, and were others that were thrown out. 0.049%. So now, when you move up to 2013, that number went down to 0.039. I don't have any numbers after that. Now, like I said, these are all paper complaints filed against police officers. What we see in the news are the very few.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is they're getting easier to find. Don't you agree?
Something well, I'm sure they have. I'm sure there are algorithms that the mainstream media are using, similar to Google search parameters, that go out and look with for news stories or even police reports detailing the kind of behaviors that they want to put in a news story. Anytime you see white cop, black suspect, shot, tased, resist, that
There's
sort
the
of
red
thing.
flags. It's like bing, bing, bing,
it's-
bing.
it's
We
a-
got a
it's a
winner.
sim-
We got a winner. We got a winner. You know?
Exactly. It's a simple algorithmic search.
Yeah, it fits
Yeah.
the narrative.
Well, you
Yeah.
also have a mass media that's portraying a picture of mass corruption amongst police officers. They're all doing so many heinous violations of our rights.
Oh yeah.
So more people are tuned into this. More people are making complaints about whatever,
sure.
whether it's founded or not.
And they
Yeah.
also they have their share of violence and misdeeds against children as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Corporate media feeds into the frenzy. It's always already out there, and they ain't helping.
No, it's really not.
And they do fake news.
Oh no! Really, you're going to use that word?
Yes, I did a Trump.
You could do worse.
This is true.
I love that term, fake news. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
It
I
runs
mean-
rampant.
I mean, media had its bias when I was a kid, but it was still more. They were putting out facts and letting you come up with decisions more often than not. Now they're going after stories with a set agenda in mind.
And they're jamming it down your damn throat.
Uh-huh.
Well, the stream already got demonetized. You guys are bad.
Well, in
Well,
that
look what we've
case,
been talking about.
Was that our fault? Did
In
we do
that
that?
case,
I don't know. I'm
Yes,
just blaming.
right.
Who dropped the F-bomb earlier?
it wasn't me.
that was Hank.
That was
Hey.
me.
Hello, Kuma. How are you?
God damn it,
Hi,
Hello,
Hank.
Kuma.
Here we are
Wow,
trying
that's
to
a shock. It wasn't me.
We're trying to give the fucking Jew some fucking money.
Yes.
Well, there we go.
Oh shit!
Now I'm gonna take that one further, and he has to share.
I gotta share my shekels. What the hell?
He's only half Jewish.
I used to have a cup that it just fell
Well,
out of.
Genetically, but
Hey, Kuma, you got that mug?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't have the mug. She licked my face right off of it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
No, I don't have my replacement. Pinder was supposed to send me another one, and he didn't.
Is he Jewing
that's
out
because you
on
can
it?
never
slacking.
be
He's
replaced.
Jewing out on you.
Dude, you're slacking.
I know. I'm so bad.
Yeah, what happened was I got overly excited and started licking the mug. I thought that's what you're supposed
my
to do. And then it permanently tattooed onto my tongue. So whenever I want to see him now, I got to stick my tongue out in front of the mirror and look at my tongue.
Oh my god.
I can only imagine what you do to your beard dye.
And then
Should turn it
and then
gray.
to make matters worse, I didn't realize that you're not supposed to cuddle with it, and I took it to bed and I broke it. So
You've
well.
been busy. You've been busy with that thing.
She's been getting busy with that thing.
No,
We don't
I was
judge
just,
here.
that's
We
not
really
what
don't.
happened.
I mean,
I was just messing with Pinder when I was saying those things, trying to get him to blush.
You do it so well too.
Thanks for the laugh. We appreciate that.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh jeez. Okay, I have a screen to share. I haven't told anybody about this either. Hold on a second.
We're about to get teabag, y'all.
uh-oh.
As long as it's
Oh.
not my unicorn.
Wait a
Yeah,
second.
I'm good.
Wait a second. No, that's another shirt. That's,
Look at that
there.
ugly.
That's the one. That's the one I wanted to show everybody.
I was looking at that ugly mug on the mug.
Hey! There's nothing wrong
Wait a
with my
minute.
ugly mug.
Where's the
$20
picture? We need a picture of your mug on the.
Oh no!
Wait,
no,
we
no,
have
no.
merch?
$20
Yeah, he's
for
got
that
merch.
shirt?
Are you kidding me? You know
And
how
it's
much
small?
I cut down all of like the profit so I could get a shirt to everybody at a cheaper price.
How much
See
for
that? Look at that. It's the same price.
Look, I would take a shirt of Steve Pender with a picture of him twerking. Yeah, if we had one of him twerking with his bottom bent over and him trying to twerk, and we had a picture of that on that T-shirt, I'd pay $40.
We'd have to have one
It
of
need to
those.
be battery operated so the butt would jiggle.
There you go.
Do you remember those appliques that if you turned them a certain way, they would move? That's what it needs to have on it.
Yes,
Oh my God.
Hey, Steve,
that's a
Oh,
good one.
dude.
Steve,
The old
could
school
you flip
3D,
that
the
to
old
the
school
back?
3D cards.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Could you flip that to the back so we can see what it says on the back?
Okay,
It's
wait a
just-
second. Hold on.
Oh, I would love a shirt like that. That'd be cool.
So you could put your head on that and have your like brains exploding out of it with the word "the rig."
Uh-huh.
You know that if I tell my husband about this, right? Because he's just so proud of finding something productive to do. He's gonna be having everybody buy that.
Shit, we lost Steve.
Oh no!
You
I'm
scared
sorry.
Steve off.
I'm sorry.
Good
Or you could
job.
put AK's face
Oh,
on it and might sell
All right,
more.
now he's back.
I know, right?
Don't no.
Yeah,
you
took
wouldn't
myself
might
out
sell more if
accidentally.
you put AK on there.
We didn't miss you.
I know
Steve,
you didn't.
Steve,
Assholes.
you got to put AK's face on it with the brains exploding out with the rig coming out.
Or me slapping Odin.
Why do
Or
we
we
have to
put
have
or we
brains?
put Odin's face on there with his brains turning into peanut butter and him licking them up.
Oh, that would be good.
Ooh.
But then everybody
Wait a
would want a
second.
refund.
Wait a second though. But see, here's the cool thing. You can actually, let's see here. I gotta get this back up there. There.
I think everyone's been ruined by the meme
You can
with
get a
the
hoodie too.
with the
Nice.
person that has
Just in time for
peanut
summer.
butter slathered
I know,
all over
right?
their body.
Oh, come on. Okay, now we're getting this show
This
has
is
just
no longer-
gone. It's just
We've
gone
gone
to the shitter today.
I'm serious. There's a meme.
Well, we found out you're not monetized, so it said we.
There is actually a meme, and it's supposed to depict Odin with peanut butter all over. It's not really Odin, but
I thought he was also on a dancer pole too.
yeah,
Well-
there was
Licking the
Dennis,
pole
Dennis
because it's got
folks,
peanut butter.
I would say definitely buy the Slipknot shirt for $10. If that's because we're not famous.
Where?
I don't know.
Where? I go to Walmart and I pay like $14 for a shirt.
That's
What the
because you're out
hell?
in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
You're in
That's
bumfuck
fair.
Egypt. That's
You're-
Go
you're in this-
shut up, Odin.
Well,
You
You're
ha-
in the
you're not
United
allowed to
States
say
and have to
anything.
pay international. You're in the United States and have to pay international shipping and handling.
Do you know how many times I've been like going to buy something online and I can't because I'm in Alaska?
Yeah.
I paid double for my shower.
I was going to say the shipping is probably more than the item.
Yeah,
Right.
that was fun with my shower.
Well, quit breaking it.
Mm.
Well,
It's
you know,
okay. You
she
can
does.
tell him shut up.
She's not a twin mom for nothing.
That's true.
Don't make her angry. You wouldn't
Hey,
like her
if-
when she's angry.
Oh
No.
my God! Did we need this today? This just free talk because
We
I
we've
think
been on
so.
subject. We've been on subject so much for 3 months. We've been like so straight laced in these streams. We're probably bored everybody to death.
Not only that, but
Well,
sometimes we got to
you need
show
levity.
that. Yeah, we got
We're
to show
real
a different side too. We're
Yeah.
actually people. We have fun. We can chat and but we can be serious. Well,
Yeah,
they can.
I mean-
I'm just here for comedic relief.
I'm not wrong.
You're there for comedic relief. Odin is just here to be laughed at.
Glenn, I got quite a few up here. Just saying.
Odin likes
So-
to be picked
Oh,
on.
this okay, guys. Okay, here we go.
It's all Kuma's fault.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, crazy
Well,
Dingo.
Dingo!
Hello, Dingo. How are
Favorite.
you?
Welcome aboard, man.
He's a crazy
Well, I had
thing
to
now.
talk
Look at that.
about
You
my-
come on and you made AK turn their camera on and give you a nice big smile.
Oh,
See, imagine that picture on the shirt. It would sell. Dingo would buy 20 just to have that picture.
I mean,
Right.
holy jeez. I mean, what is that? Will Smile for dogs? Is that what it is? The dog comes on.
Probably. It's probably exactly what it is.
No, I've been stalking him today. Did I tell
Oh,
you I
okay.
found him in a suit? Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
Shh. You're not meant to talk about that, AK.
I'm
So-
sorry. I'm sorry. You just look, Dingo, you looked so handsome.
Wow,
much-
sudden silence.
How,
We're
how
like-
much?
Alright.
We're like,
I'm-
damn,
I'm-
she
I'm
never said that
shocked.
about any of us. What the
I
hell?
know.
Right? I just get you get
I have called each and every one of you beautiful and unique and given you all compliments except for Odin because then his head gets too big and then I have to pop it.
Notice what she said. I've called you beautiful, unique, not handsome.
You're handsome.
That's
Not
right.
No, I believe that men deserve to hear that they're beautiful too. You are.
Well,
Oh,
he's,
shit.
he's uniquely beautiful, which, you know.
Steve,
I mean,
I'll bet you
when he-
translated
when
that 'cause I
he-
thought she said eunuchs.
I know
That's
you.
Odin.
I know you.
Oh shit, sorry Odin. My
I thought
bad.
you said
I know that
unique.
was a...
I mean,
Oh.
did he flash you and he was anatomically incorrect?
I just my bad. I didn't mean to bring it up, Odin.
See, dipping your dick in
Okay.
peanut butter does not do good things.
So, Dingo, what's your opinion on qualified immunity, Dingo?
Ow.
Stuff it. Get rid of it.
Really? Okay.
And why do you think that, Dingo? Why do you think what do you think will happen if we were to get rid of it?
Well, honestly, too many bad cops are getting covered by it. If they committed crimes, they shouldn't be allowed to use it.
Well, why don't we just say that then? If you committed crimes, see what we've been exploring is that gray area, that cops can push past the Fourth Amendment and other rights that they can violate and be, free of any kind of civil actions against them. And what we're trying to do is figure out how to or better define that area. That definition of what is reasonable, what is exigent circumstances, things like that. That's what we've been exploring for like 3 months now.
And
I don't think
also,
we should
what
do
is
away with it.
Okay.
excessive is also part of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say excessive force.
Yeah.
No, they shouldn't be covered by qualified immunity. Civil rights violation, it shouldn't be covered. The qualified immunity should be out the door with that.
Okay.
What else?
Let me fill you in with an example then. So I'm chasing a suspect. Suspect runs into a person's house. I'm in hot pursuit. This guy is fleeing. He's probably got a gun. Do I stay outside the house? I'm in pursuit of him, literally chasing him down the road. Do I have to stop and wait for a warrant to go in that house, or do I go in after him if I've been on foot chasing this man? What do you think?
He's armed. He's dangerous. No need to wait for a warrant. You should go straight. You should be allowed to go straight in and chase that suspect.
Okay.
And
So in doing that, when the officer goes in, there could be a fight in there. There could be a gunfight in the house, bullets flying, going through walls, breaking up shit. Can that officer be sued for the damages to that house? That's what qualified immunity is supposed to protect that officer from. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't been grossly exaggerated from that point, but that's what it was originally created for, that type of situation.
And in my opinion, as long as he's following the procedures of his jurisdiction or his department, he should be covered.
Okay. So
hang on, there's a gunfight going on in the house. Right now, okay, two different guns. He's fired shots and they've gone through walls and they've destroyed things. No, I can't see a reason why he should be sued because he's doing what he's meant to be doing. If
Yeah.
if gunfire went on, there's other people in that house. That officer is in there protecting those people.
Yeah.
Now,
If he goes in and engages that suspect in gunfire outside of his department guidelines, that's where his immunity needs to be questioned. Because if he's not following the guidelines, but if he's following the guidelines, they should just be going after the department, not the individual.
you
Time
would
for me.
think.
Time for me to throw a
Okay.
wrench. It's time
Yes.
for me to throw a wrench.
Do it. Throw it.
What about the perpetrator that's being chased? What type of responsibility will they have to bear on damages?
If
They should
If he's
definitely
adjudi-
bear some because it's that person who causes
Yeah.
the officer to be
I
pursued.
have a question. Okay,
go ahead, Kim.
if the perpetrator runs into a house that does not belong to him, a basic stranger, let's say mine. Now, doesn't that turn into a hostage situation?
It could. And
It
that
could,
would be
yes.
that would be the exigent circumstances that the police use in this type of situation. That's
Yes,
what
but my
has given
question-
so many
my-
police.
My
But
next
that's-
question to that is,
okay.
if he comes storming into the house, how does he not know that guy doesn't have a gun to one of my children? And there you go.
That's just it. But this is what we're talking about. Where the
Okay,
term.
Steve.
Well, no, let me finish what I'm saying. The
Go
term
ahead.
the term exigent circumstances. That is while the law is written in the United States. Exigent circumstances. Whether he believes that police may be in danger, if he believes that civilians may be in danger, these are exigent circumstances that will allow him to be able to do this free of civil suit and gain qualified immunity. The problem is the definition of exigent circumstances has been grossly exaggerated and cost people their lives, has given police officers the right to basically violate your rights and just say, well, I had exigent circumstances and this was it. I mean, look at Anderson versus Cretan. He said, I don't need any
damn
search
warrant,
warrant because I'm in pursuit. He never saw the suspect go into that house. He just suspected maybe, oh, this guy's in this house because he's related.
Yeah, but he
To one of
didn't
them.
actually say he was in pursuit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That's right. He said what was the words he used? We can go back and look, but
I would like to go back and look because I'm not going to misquote it. But he didn't use the word.
Yeah.
He didn't use that phrase. He didn't say I'm in pursuit.
Well,
Oh,
my
shit.
question
Ooh.
is,
did I drop you up there too
go.
soon, Joe?
Here we go.
Hey, Joe.
my concern is, if he comes into the home and there are people in the home, wouldn't you think that they would then call for backup and not try to enter and put those people in danger?
See,
In
the thing
Anderson
is-
versus but in Anderson versus Cretan, he had many other officers with him.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Yeah.
to that point, Kumanina, if there's an armed suspect that just busts into somebody's house and there are people in there, you automatically have a potential hostage situation.
yes.
So
And-
Yeah. But
And
he
the reverse
you run the risk of this guy going absolutely batshit, shooting everybody in that house, or the cop going in after him and making sure that doesn't happen.
Well,
Yeah, but
something like this actually did occur, but it wasn't in the house; it was in the yard. And one of the residents, it was a child that got shot
Yeah.
by the
But-
officer, not by.
But let me
Chicago, they stay outside the house most of the time, and the hostage situation develops. They don't.
We haven't gotten to the hostage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
situation
haven't
Yeah,
even
yet.
gotten to that part yet.
If it comes to a point where the cop is like a half a block behind the guy before he runs into the house,
Yeah, that's what
then
Okay.
he calls for backup and says, "Hey, I got a potential hostage situation. I need all hands on deck."
Yeah, but now let's get back to Anderson versus Cretan. His reasoning for suspecting that this guy was in the house is this bank robber he was chasing, or basically pursuing, He wasn't in any kind of hot pursuit. He was looking for him. He was the brother of the man's wife that lived in this house. So that's why he believed, I'm thinking he may be there. That's why he said, I don't need any warrant.
And the dude was an FBI agent acting on a hunch. Acting on a hunch.
He had already arrested this guy for a previous bank robbery. And he was in a halfway house, and he escaped from the halfway house.
Okay.
And this particular law enforcement officer believed that he was in that house, but had no proof of it.
Had no proof. He had no exigent circumstances, although he got summary judgment. We know that. And it was thrown out. There was no discovery. No evidence was brought forth. So then it moved to the Court of Appeals, and they brought it to the Supreme Court from there. And we listened to that entire case in the Supreme Court. And it was thrown out. Basically, they gave the officer qualified immunity, which blows my mind in that situation, because if you read the transcripts that were presented in the Court of Appeals, holy shit! This guy hit the woman's husband. I mean, there was physical contact involved in this.
Yeah, on an innocent party.
Yeah.
Now, going back to if the suspect should be held liable for any of the damages, I completely agree with that. You know, if the case is adjudicated and the suspect is found guilty, then quite honestly, the dude needs to pay, or needs to have a year tacked on for every $10,000 in damages he causes.
Yeah, because he's the one who led the police in there to begin with.
Yeah.
That brings up a question from me too, Steve, and maybe somebody can answer it. The officer chases the suspect into the house. Who fires first, the officer or the suspect?
It
That all
doesn't
depends
matter.
on the
It depends on the circumstances. Rules of engagement typically dictate that the cop would not fire first. If the suspect,
unless there was a visible threat.
If there's a visible threat if there's a visible threat to the cop or anybody else in that house, then the cop has every right to shoot first.
Yeah, like if he was lunging towards one of the residents of that house and going after them, he doesn't have to wait for the guy to shoot or even get close to that person. He's going to shoot him.
Right.
Yep.
You know?
And even if the other guy doesn't shoot at all and the cop shoots first, cop's going to say he shot first. So it doesn't really
Well, I mean, what if they don't find a gun on him?
Yeah, right.
He pulled his finger.
That's what.
But he may not need to have that guy might not need to have a gun. He could be just as deadly with his fists or anything that he might pick up.
That's why you.
You know, if he's all right. So and this is all hypothetical because obviously there's not a it's not in something that I've seen recently. But if a guy lunges at some like a kid or something like that or a woman and starts swinging at her or starts swinging a fucking lamp or something at her, then that's an automatic weapon. I mean that's automatically a weapon. The dude can cause serious damage.
A 3-inch stiletto's a weapon.
Yeah, but then there's the little thing that comes into play there called equal force.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if you're acting in defense of somebody else, then
police are not obligated to remain at equal force.
That's true.
Yep.
They should not have a system though it allows for a motherfucker to just kill a motherfucker that fast. That's way.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. Your friend who fought 8 years to get his qualified immunity in his case.
Yeah.
Wasn't it based upon not equal force?
Different states.
Well, no. What do you mean by not equal? I mean, he was handcuffing one person.
Yeah.
And while he was handcuffing that person, another person came after him with a big knife.
Wait, what?
Let me finish. He never shot them. This is in Texas. That's all I can go by. When I say this story, this happened in Texas. The person went after him while he was handcuffing one suspect with a knife. Now, he couldn't shoot them because he was in the process of handcuffing him. The only thing he had was his feet. So he kicked the guy that was coming after him with a knife to stab him in the face and knocked him out.
But
now, when the man fell, he hit his head on the curb, and that's what caused a lot of damage. He didn't die, but it caused a lot of damage.
So getting back to my question, wasn't there an issue of equal force brought up in that particular
Yes,
case?
because they thought that because he used his body, they considered that extremely excessively violent. Now remember how he said that it wasn't that. It's like, okay, remember the flashlight that he talked about. Well, in court, a flashlight isn't a flashlight.
No,
It's a lead
So
pipe.
what? Yeah.
Lead
Exactly.
pipe in court. So there are things like that. So
Well, Steve, anybody, in what state is the police not allowed to elevate? If it's you one guy, he can pull out a taser, right? If the guy has a knife, he can pull out a gun, right? So when does the police have to follow that equal force policy?
I've never even heard of it, truth be told.
Neither have I.
In the way
That's
that
new
it
to
was
me.
in the way that was just brought up, because when has it ever happened? Police will take whatever you're coming at them and they need to up it because they want to lower you into submission of some sort or stop the threat. I mean, it's always been an escalation from the point if you threaten a police officer, they're going above what you just went. It's like, it's like the hand when they go over the hand. Oh, I'm going to go above that. I'm going to trump that card.
I have no argument with that. I was only bringing it up because of the case that we discussed with Officer X.
Yes.
And it did come up in his case.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
So that's
and I
why I
believe
brought
it
it
came up because it was brought up in civil court, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's why it was brought up, because it's different, civil court from criminal. And I think he mentioned that.
Yeah.
He was in the chat earlier,
But
I actually think Joe would like that police officer.
I don't know.
This police park right next to me, guys. Hold on.
Tell him we said hi. Just wave and say, hey, I got 10 people saying hi.
Yep.
I'd like to
Dan,
see
do
Joe. Whoops, sorry. I was just going to say I would like to see Joe Cool go interview the mayor.
I've tried,
Good
man.
luck.
I can't get close.
Yeah. See, the thing is, you wouldn't be able to. You'd have a hard time figuring out who she's looking at, man.
You just have to know what church he goes to at 6 o'clock in the morning.
And that might be dope, right?
But Joe would have to edit his wording.
So Jimmy wants to know my thoughts on the Floyd verdict.
That's how you got in touch with Mayor Daley in his day. You went to church at the same time you did.
That's right. Everybody I know, that's where they met him and did. You know, at Holy Name, I think is where he was going at.
Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Well, no. Jimmy wants to know my thoughts on the verdict. I believe that the judge set it up for a really good appeal with what he said.
Oh, wow.
I think the judge set that up. If you listen to the judge's comments at the end on that.
What specific in particular?
He was talking about what Pelosi.
No, Maxine Waters.
And Maxine Waters and Pelosi, because they were both.
Oh, I didn't know
doing
Pelosi
it,
said some
but
shit.
Maxine Waters was one.
Shit.
Maxine was the one that was saying that
stay in the street.
Stay in the streets and be and encourage.
And it should have been first degree.
Shouldn't she be impeached for that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh wait, now we didn't impeach Trump, and he had niggas ready.
Yeah, we did.
We tried.
Yes.
We did.
No, where have you been?
You're right.
So
He was impeached.
and they were ones in the lead of the charge.
Okay, but let me finish what I was saying. Now, because of that, the judge said, "Hey, this will probably give you an easy appeal, so to speak."
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if those were his exact words. Now, like I said, if you look at the case and you watch the whole thing, I'm not sure. And I believe that the jury was scared shitless, truth be told.
Undoubtedly.
Okay, scared shitless. But I believe that the officer was easily guilty of manslaughter, easily. I think the murder charge, I think that was pushing it because I don't believe that was his intent. And that's what they had to prove, and I don't think they proved it.
Murder it's different.
So when you and I talked about it.
A murder, too, is different in that state.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is. That's why I don't want to get too far into it, because I don't know
their
definitions there.
There's certain elements
that it was to murder just that the act itself could have led to murder, and he intended to do that act. The
Well,
murder
there's
itself.
so
think-
there's certain elements that don't have to be proven, actually, in at least one of those charges.
Yeah. I think
And
murder, two,
the
committed
fact that
felony,
I
and-
was actually surprised to find that they found him guilty on all three. I expected two of them. Steve and I talked about it yesterday,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect the third one.
Either.
Yeah, I like I said, now here's where the act itself was okayed by police policy. The length of time he spent on his neck and shoulder was not.
Yeah,
that's where he broke police policy. Absolutely. Because there are steps. We talked with police officer X a couple of weeks ago, where he talked about the steps. This is where the cop blew it. This is where he messed up. This is what he should have done. That procedure, that move, that technique is approved by the police department. He was following police protocol, but not for the length of time. There was things that he missed that he didn't do, and that's where. So the act itself, this is why I don't believe the act itself can be deemed, because the act itself can absolutely kill people.
Yeah.
And it was approved by the police department. So that's where I have a problem with that, and that's the only reason.
We know now there some departments are eliminating the knee to the neck.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Yeah.
it was approved beforehand.
Yeah. Now see.
Yep.
Now I don't know Minneapolis's policy all that well, but at least in my limited logical understanding of it, it's the maneuver is meant to subdue the suspect long enough to get him cuffed and get him settled down. Get him cuffed.
You certainly got him settled down.
Yeah, I know, right? But if you get him cuffed, if you have to, hog tie his ass, and then get him into the car. Not put him on the ground and sit there on top of him with three other cops sitting around not doing shit.
But initially they did have him in the car. And
He was. Look, we got him on video saying, "Get me out of the car, get me on the ground, get me on the ground."
Yeah.
He couldn't be in the car. He was having problems breathing before they even got on him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, he said that over and over again. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
That's what I'm saying. I think the maneuver in and of itself is meant to subdue the suspect until you can get him settled down and properly restrained, and then get him moved into the vehicle. Not sit there underneath the car for fucking nearly 10 minutes with three other cops who are perfectly capable of strapping him up and putting him in the car.
Yeah.
But here's the thing:
strap him up. Strap him up.
Whoa! Stop stepping over each other. Let one person speak.
Sorry.
The part you're skipping is the part where they are also trained to put a suspect in a relief position.
Yes. That's what Officer X talked about. Yes.
Yeah.
And they should have had him cuffed and his feet shackled, then on a gurney to go to the hospital, help him breathe within 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, because really, all they'd had done was just put him down, get him on the ground, cuff him. If they had to restrain his feet, and then sit him up.
But see, that's why there's other officers in this situation. We were told this too. The other officers are there to say, "Hey, he's been subdued. Let's get him into relief position," because the guy that's doing it, because of the adrenaline and everything, he might not be thinking correctly. So that's what the other officers are there for. They're there to. That's where the checks and balances are there.
They did say that. The two officers who were holding him down both had less than 6 months experience. Told him, we can't even find a post. Let's roll him over. He said, no, stay where you are.
Yeah. If he was told, and I don't remember ever hearing that he was told that he can't find a pulse. I don't remember even hearing that in the trial, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, it could have been something that got missed, or we might have missed. But
I didn't watch it now, but I was hawking it back in the day.
No, I didn't remember ever hearing that ever come up, that they told him they couldn't even find a pulse, get off of him. No, I didn't hear that.
That's why the two young cats, they won't be found on no murder shit. You'll never find nothing near intent, because they were telling him, listen, let's stop, let's get up, roll him over.
Because they were trained, because they're trained that right out of the academy.
I want to know.
They're trained about getting him into the relief position.
I want to know what video clip that was in, Joe.
I'd love to hear that.
Oh my God! You know what? it's in the same clip where it said they both had less than 6 months experience. This in that same clip. That would have been fucking CNN 8 months ago or a year or whenever this shit happened.
You're talking
And
about the media referring to these officers? Where was the clip that saw
That
that
heard them
happen?
say it. Was it ever on video that they said it? Like you could hear
Because
them
I
saying it?
saw the clips of the
Yeah.
officers on George Floyd,
Yeah.
and they were not making any such a suggestion.
I bet you can find a clip of them making a
I'm
suggestion.
not going to go looking because you're the one who's deciding that they did it,
I'm not
and
suggesting
I have
you
never
don't-
seen in the entire court hearing.
Yeah.
And all of the clips that I watched, I never saw any officer suggest that they stopped doing what they were doing.
I heard you, and by saying it, I'm sorry, but I was about to say by repeating it doesn't make it any stronger. I heard you. You haven't seen that clip. I said I think one exists.
But have
I'm
you
sorry,
seen it?
Joe, but I've seen all clips, and I'm going to tell you, those two young officers were holding his legs. How are they going to find a
Oh, I
pulse on
bet
his
you I
legs?
can hop up here and find it in no time. I bet you it's that fucking easy to find. Somebody fucking Google that shit.
Pulse on a leg?
You said you think it exists, but I'm asking you, did you see it, Joe?
I know. I don't want to fucking
I
argue.
mean, I can find a pulse in a guy's leg, but that's only because I was an EMT when I was younger.
I was
Shit.
going to say the
Yeah.
same thing. There are multiple
and
pulse points all around.
the pulse in your lower extremities are the ones that fade out fastest when you have any compromise of your
Yeah.
blood pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the top of the foot. I mean, that's easy, right on the top of the foot.
There's
If
another
you don't
one
have a shoe on.
Oh, you kidding me? You can go right in with your finger underneath the tongue of the shoe. I can't begin to tell you how many times I did that. Didn't take the shoe off the person.
You also
But I
have
was-
the one that's
Depends
right
on the
next
shoe.
to the right next to the
Depends on the
Achilles.
shoe.
If he's got high tops laced up tight, you're not going to get your finger up under that without taking off without
This is true.
at
yeah.
least unlacing it.
But
Yeah,
there's
and
another
then-
pulse
and then
point
you can go on
right
either
next to
side of
the
the
Achilles tendon that you can reach
Yeah.
in and touch.
I want
Yeah.
to see if Texas Red still wants to come up because I'll be happy to drop for that.
Well,
No, he ain't
I've-
coming up. I threw him out of my Discord. You think I'm going to let him come up here? No.
Oh,
Well, I've got to drop. I got to get some things done, and before I call it a night before my surgery tomorrow. So,
All right. Good luck and prayers, baby.
Good luck on your
Good luck,
surgery.
man.
Yeah,
Good luck,
good
Hank.
luck,
Take it easy,
Hank.
brother.
yeah.
take care.
But hopefully, I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow.
Yes.
Later in the afternoon.
Let us know. Don't leave motherfuckers hanging.
Well, as soon as I'm down from off the anesthetic enough that I'm coherent, I'll probably get online.
Or call some.
Yeah. Oh,
Tell
hey,
the-
look at that. The watchers are here.
Praise
And they're
God.
doing what they do best. They're watching. And that's pretty much all they do. They watch.
And they tell you they're watching.
Thank you for the view.
They're scary.
I'm still waiting for the
Yeah.
number of fish.
Yeah,
Honestly.
we're watching. Isn't that what viewers do? You watch? I mean, shit.
Well,
Thank you for
Well, I
being
guess-
like everyone else.
Yes,
No,
Puma.
To their name.
Thank you for being Captain Obvious.
I'm sorry. I'm in a weird mood today, guys. It's just one of those things. I've been called like racist so many times today.
What were you saying,
The only
Kumanina?
person that hasn't called me racist is Joe.
Wait a minute. I didn't call you racist. Don't tell that lie.
Okay.
Kumanina wanted to say something.
Oh, fuck.
Kuma
Well,
wants to say something.
I'm gonna head out, guys. I did have surgery today, and I need to take a pain pill and get some rest. So,
Prayers
Have
to
fun
you
with
too.
that.
All right,
You
rest
take
up.
care, Kumanina.
all right, you guys take care. Thank you for letting me come up. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Good seeing
Bye.
you.
Take it easy.
All right. Bye bye.
Have a good one, hon.
Oh, AK's gone. What'd you do to
Oh,
us, Steve?
jeez. I didn't. I swear to God, I would never kick
kids
that
that are
She's
smile.
taking care of her kids.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
never kick that smile. I'd
She
kick
has-
Odin, but I wouldn't kick her.
Hey,
She has 2 kids to chase after.
Well-
Come on now.
She has 3.
3. Well,
One-
one of them's at her mom's house.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wait,
You guys have the ins and outs of AK's home. Jeez, I'm crow. Who's the stalker now?
I got a text
Um,
saying I should be out in the field, not sitting with white folks.
Racist.
Goddamn.
Hey, Joe, according to
Cotton ain't
you,
picking itself.
hey, Joe,
Why you got they gonna pick itself?
you remember, Joe, listen,
I'm sorry. Oh my
I mean,
god.
according to Joe, I'm black. Just so everybody knows,
Yeah, I want to be black.
he referred to me as black, but I'm a soul sister, is what he
think-
meant.
all the day long while you saying that, I'm thinking sister. So I would agree with that.
Oh my
God, I
God.
thought something felt.
White
I
folks
thought
don't
some-
understand that terminology, Joe.
Yeah,
You know,
I
black
thought,
you know.
Steve. I thought there was a
Good night.
fishy smell up here. It's Nevaeh.
That's right. But guess what? My tanks don't even smell like fish.
Damn it, that sounds sexual.
That's
No,
good.
they,
Good.
no, it's a
Yeah.
good
That's-
actually.
Her
Listen,
Her water box don't
okay,
smell
so
like.
you got to
her water box
understand.
don't
Never heard of
smell
it
like
called the
fish.
tank.
Yeah, no, so you got to
I
understand.
never heard it called a tank.
Right, it's a tank. So tank, aquarium is kind of long word.
It's a big
But
40
listen,
gallon.
honestly, aquariums don't actually. A healthy aquarium does not smell. It doesn't. It doesn't smell like fish. It smells.
It's
I'm
too
gonna-
late. It's too late.
Must be all the vinegar and water.
No, it's not that. They
Joe's
smell.
fault.
Listen, I'm glad you're enjoying this.
I'm sorry,
They-
DeVay. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. They actually smell
Nevaeh.
earthy. They have
I
an
think the
earthy
only one
smell.
up. Yeah.
Oh, for
I
fuck's
think
sake.
Nevaeh-
Oh, let her speak. Let her speak,
It doesn't
damn
smell
it.
like fish. It smells like dirt.
You're right. It does. They smell earthy. Earthy. Right? A healthy tank smells earthy.
Don't get it.
Yes, that's right. And Nevaeh, I think the only one up here that knows what you're talking about is
So-
me.
So
No, we
Massengale
all
has
know
a
what
new
you're talking
scent.
about.
So Massengale has a new scent called Earthy.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So this is so bad. I'm so gonna chop this up.
It's you guys. It's not
I know.
me. It's you.
I know.
You're
You'll
welcome.
you'll have to label it when Joe Cool comes on panel. People go nuts.
The part I would use at the end of my bid, by the way. This is the part I would use on this crazy shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Joe Pool comes up, white people start acting crazy.
I'm so glad Joe
I'm not
come up.
white.
I'm so glad Joe came up today because with everything that's happened today, of course, with the verdict,
Oh
and
my
then the
God.
fact that we've been on this qualified immunity for 3 months, I'm like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
it'd be really cool to get Joe Cool's point of view on this.
Hell yeah.
Well,
So that was
Okay.
cool.
He's too stoned.
Hey,
He
listen.
couldn't give a point of view on anything.
Let me get to my point of view because all I'm talking about is earthy kitty cats and aquariums.
Nobody said anything about kitty cats, Joe. You're a one-track binder, dude.
Thanks. I was kind of wishing, Steve. I know you're gonna give me shit, but I know you already know this. I was kind of wishing for not guilty. I wanted the hundreds of thousands of motherfuckers in the street. Then I think we got a chance to make some change. Now I think motherfuckers get too lackadaisical again, and my chances just went out the window. That's some selfish shit, but I had that thought.
You think this is just going to shut people up for a while and kind
Yeah.
of smooth it over?
Yeah.
What it was meant to do, and it's gonna serve that purpose to some extent at least.
Yeah,
There are
you may be right. I think you may be right on that.
I don't know. They're gearing up for that Dante, right? Okay, so
I believe they're already rioting up there, or rioting / protesting / whatever.
Well,
No,
like
no,
you
no,
thought
no.
things were
Whatever.
going to
they're
stop
they're,
regardless of the outcome
they're
of this
angrily
case.
marching these days. It's angrily marching.
Yeah.
Confrontational.
So, am I to understand you, Joe, that you would have rather had the verdict go the other way, so there was an uprising? Is that what you said?
What I was saying, hold on, let me mute this fucking ambulance. I'm sorry.
His car's calling the ambulance so it can get on high.
Yeah.
No. No, it's only Tuesday. You guys
It's,
probably just got shot in the leg.
So you would have rather seen it go the other way because you think that maybe people protesting is going to bring about the type of change you're looking for? Is that what you were saying?
What I was saying was there was a part of me that felt that way. Of course, there's just as big a part of me that wanted him to be found guilty. That shit bad as hell. But I was downtown and I was hoping that I got to see thousands of niggas in them streets. All the buildings, they were still boarding shit up. All the fucking businesses was boarded up. I was ready to fucking hit the streets. And I felt let down, man. Ain't no change coming from this. I'm mad. I ain't gonna bullshit you. I missed the days when it was fucking 80% white motherfuckers in the fucking streets with us. And that wasn't long ago.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to come from this, and I don't know if people are going to allow it to go silent, Joe. I don't know if people are going to allow it.
Not. I hope not. I hope not. I hope.
Yeah.
Well, with all the things that are taking place right now and the laws that are already have been changed and those that are in the workings to be changed, this is going to be an ongoing issue and discussion. Either eliminating disqualified
Oh,
immunity
man.
or codifying it in a way that it's not beneficial is a waste of time.
I would agree, and that's what they're doing, right? They need to make, I don't know, solid decisions, man.
Well, they need to clarify it a little better. It's too damn vague. It's qualified immunity.
It's too
It
broad.
allows too
Yeah.
much. It allows too much movement.
Yes.
And it is too much play on the side of, and this is what I said earlier, Joe, and tell me if you agree or disagree, that, you know, for us, ignorance is no excuse for the law, correct?
That's
If
right.
we don't know the law, we still get arrested for breaking it.
That's right.
Yep.
So there's already been a
So,
law
but-
on
but
qualified
let me-
immunity passed.
Yeah, but let me finish. I want to get Joe's
Yeah.
opinion on this.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that ignorance of the Fourth Amendment or basically just coming up with a good reason why you had exigent circumstances allows for them. And it's almost, and if you look at the way I showed, you want to go back and look at it,
I see where
we
you're
showed
going.
some of the wording of the laws in Connecticut. It allows for the officer to be ignorant of the rights.
I would agree with that shit.
And it's like, okay, well, if we get arrested and ignorance is no excuse for the law, then I would say that it's probably this. It should be the same
Yes.
on their end.
Yeah.
If they,
I say that all the time. I think that that they find every excuse for the cop. It's too many new laws. Who could know every those? You know how many new laws come out each year? They
Oh.
find every excuse for the cop. I wish they would bend over backwards for us the same way. Then I'd be
Yeah.
happy. If I go over the yellow line, I get a ticket. If the cop went over, oh, he was tired. You know, yeah, I worked hard today. They see everything for those guys. And
well, we saw a female go, I worked a 16-hour shift and I got into the wrong apartment and killed a guy.
that's right. And they see
Yeah.
they're supposed to buy it.
I mean, she got murdered too.
Yeah.
She got convicted,
See-
20 years. But
Yeah.
at the same time, yeah, she got convicted. Wow, that doesn't bring the guy back that she killed.
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
See, when I don't. So one thing. All right. So I'm friends with a couple of the folks that are in the Gun Owners of America here in Texas. The assistant director and the director, really. One thing that I did bring up as just a topic of conversation the other day was the fact that with all of the laws, with any of the laws, it's not like the state goes out of their way to let the people know what these laws are.
That's
I
right.
mean, yeah, there are websites that people can go to check up on bills and stuff like that. But with all the laws that are in the books, how in the hell is any run of the mill normal guy
Hey, man.
supposed to know exactly what's on the fucking books?
Yeah.
The vast majority of that shit needs to just go.
Yeah,
Google.
it's not like they go out and put the fucking latest and greatest laws up on a fucking billboard for everybody to read.
Obligated. They said
Google.
they should have to run them in the papers for X amount of days, put them on the so-and-so social media. If they're
Yeah.
going to come up with it, they should be incumbent upon them to let us know as best they can.
Google.
Every
Agreed.
6 months, the police officers get basically a pamphlet. They get a pamphlet for new gun
Oh, yeah.
laws. They get a pamphlet for new traffic laws. And I actually have some of the books. Just saying.
Yeah,
They have
it's
they
not
have
like they
these
send
that
that
are
out to-
given to them, so they learn the new laws and the
Yeah,
laws that have been passed.
it's not like they need to send that shit out to everybody.
don't
They
you
do.
think?
We pay fucking taxes. We ought to fucking get the fucking law books.
And you got to sit them cuffs down. You don't put it in their hand and assume it's going to happen, man. Them niggas need 6 months of school and on legal shit alone before they become.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least, and
yeah,
that's just the
it's different.
basics.
It's different in every state. I mean, they have, 9 months here is the academy in Texas. But I mean, when you get a license, remember like years ago when you used to get your license to carry, it was 10 hours in the classroom just learning the gun laws.
Oh yeah, it was a 2 day.
It was
course.
crazy.
Right.
And
Later
now
on,
it's like 4 hours, shoot a gun. Okay, here.
Yeah.
Some
What the fuck?
some jurisdictions are actually preferring to choose recruits from a graduate, at least of an associate level in criminal justice.
They got to.
You know, an associate's degree is basically extension of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I understand what that is, but it's still.
They get three classes in criminal justice, and the rest of it's just a high school extension course.
I'm okay with that being the basic minimum. I'm okay with that. That should be the basic fucking.
It's something.
Yeah, because they're spending 2
Yeah.
years to get that.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
I don't disagree. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's what that is.
Okay,
It's
let me
better
fill
than
you
not
in a
having
little
it.
something. Just my town in Crowley has a college built into the high school here in little town of Crowley, and the kids can take criminal justice courses in high school and have their associate's degree when they graduate high school. That's how easy it is.
That's impressive, yo.
Yeah, we have these. They can take forensics. They can take.
Damn.
Yes, in high school. What the fuck? I missed all this shit.
Man,
Seriously.
right?
have
But
fucking music.
there's a lot of
That's
stuff
going to be
that's been-
available to my son. That's what I'm excited about.
well, that's all good,
Yeah.
but there's eliminations of things that are just as important for the younger kids, and like before you reach 8th grade that they took away that
Well-
we need.
Well, they took two
For
things
recess,
away. They
they need
took
recess.
social studies and civics.
Yeah, that's important stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
They need,
but they didn't take that away to put the college in. Is what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't making that. I'm
They
just
sure as
saying.
hell
that-
didn't take away football in high school.
well,
You
yeah.
want to
no,
see
that's-
riot,
that's
Joe?
big.
You want to see Texans riot? Take away high school football. Holy
Dude.
shit!
The
We'll be
civics-
burning stuff down.
The civics that you got in
white
like
boys
8th
like
grade
more
were actually what helped you pass your SATs
Yeah,
in
I
that
know.
area of study, and now they don't even have it anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's intentional, man. They don't want these.
Oh yeah.
They want.
They don't want anybody to know what the law is.
You got to give me ID because I said so. They want you to buy that bullshit, man. That's how they
Yeah.
get their money. That's how they get their arrest. They get lucky. You search everybody, ask everybody for their ID, get it from them, run the name. You know. So yeah, they're gonna need some fucking some studying up, man. Like
Yeah.
I need them advising us of our rights. Listen, no, ma'am, you don't have to give me your ID. No, I didn't stop you for anything. I was just talking to you. I need that before I'm content.
So, is anybody else have the same opinion as I do that having that training before you actually go looking for that job actually puts you in better touch with other human beings?
I think it does.
Because you're going through training with other people, right?
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
relationship building, problem solving, and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, it's socializing, period. Yeah, I agree with that shit.
Oh yeah.
People who homeschool their kids, and I'll be like, as much as I'm down for it and I need you schooling your own kids, I also need that social interaction.
Yeah.
That's why my kid's in public school right now.
Well,
Back in the day when the cops would walk the beat through neighborhoods.
to your point,
You know?
Joe. To your point, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm homeschooling my kids.
Yeah.
All my kids are homeschooled right now.
Well,
We do have them in some social. We do have them in some,
I was gonna
social
say-
programs.
That's what homeschoolers have them doing
Yeah.
other activities, bar none. They
Yeah.
don't let the kids say no. They have them in social activities.
Yep, we do.
can you let Robert finish his thought there?
I
Yeah,
just want him to
Go
know
ahead.
we're on the same page. If he'd have let me finish, I was gonna say what he said.
All right, go ahead, Rob.
You interrupting motherfuckers. I mean, we're already demonetized. Like, I give a shit now. I mean, geez. Hank
Yeah, I'm
dropped the
smoking-
F-bomb earlier that fucked me up, and I saw the yellow flag come up. I'm like, oh, fuck.
I'm smoking weed all on the panel. Yeah, that probably is not monetized. It's probably not monetized.
All right,
Shit.
get it, Rob. Get it, Rob.
Yeah.
No,
oh,
just you're talking about, you know, communication between people, having a better relationship, and I'm talking like old school police walking the beat in the neighborhoods, knowing the people knew them. You know, that was a better public relationship.
mhm.
It is. Even nowadays, we got some cops who still pull that off, and they can come up here where I'm at, and everybody's happy to see them and giving them pounds. They sit up and talk about, how's your sister, how's auntie? And you got other ones that come up here and, you know, don't even like the lingo, you know, hear you say nigga and be like, hey, that's disrespectful, don't say that, or, you know, just, you be like, where do you fucking live? And you got the other guy to be like, yeah, I went to high school on the south side. Yeah, or man, yeah, baby, you got that.
Uh-huh.
And they're out the car, you know what I'm saying? They kick.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. That's. I mean, I grew up in a small town, and we had 3 cops for the entire town.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and it was a 3-shift operation.
So it's this with a lot of them, bro.
So
Well, I mean,
we knew all of them.
Right, they was in the bar at the same time. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, shit. Saturday come rolling around, they're all 3 at the bar. Nobody give a fuck.
I don't know, man. Like I said, when I grew up, the area I grew up in, Cranston, when I was real young, you know, before I got into middle school and high school. But you know, my first, you know, up until my son's age, I was the only white guy in my neighborhood. All my friends were black.
right on.
I mean, so I didn't understand. I mean, I didn't even know the term racism until I was much older.
Right on.
I didn't know it. And we had police officers driving into our town. We'd be playing stickball or kickball or dodgeball or whatever the hell we could play in the streets. Cops would always come over, stop, and we were always happy to see them. We'd go and say hi. They'd shake all our hands or you know, whatever it was. And
I know nothing about that, man. From the time you 10, 11 years old, they're jumping out the car on you, pulling your pants down in public and leaving you standing up there with your ass showing.
see, I mean, of course, I mean, we're talking about the Northeast, you know, Cranston, Rhode Island in this, you know, early 70s. You know, we're talking 72,
Yeah.
73.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
a bunch of recovering hippies up
I
there.
mean, shit,
Recovering
Joe-
hippies.
well, I remember them coming back from Vietnam and seeing the guys in their you know, army outfits and all that coming out.
Oh, Steve.
Shit, I mean they didn't get everybody out of Vietnam until 75. I mean, I was
They were
8 years old.
Jackets in the
Yeah.
70s, and early 70s. I don't remember that shit, but
75 is when we got completely out of Vietnam. But I remember when I was little, you know, soldiers coming home and they're on the bus with their big duffel bag and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I mean, I just don't remember it. I never saw any kind of racism anywhere, and it was really weird because I was in a state next door to one of the biggest Klan states in the United States. Connecticut was a huge Klan state back then. It was huge.
Oh wow.
And I didn't see that in Rhode Island where I was. I mean, shit, Joe, you want to know how ethnic I was? I mean, I knew what chitlins tasted like before I was 7.
There you go.
Okay.
Me too, by
Okay.
the way.
So
Not bad for a wet boy.
so I didn't understand it, and it's like, and no one ever looked at me and said, "Oh, you're white, you can't hang out with us." I mean, I was just like one of them.
Right. Just
You know what I
like
mean?
Here, the white folks here, they talk like us, man. Joe, nigga like me, I wouldn't tolerate that shit. They talk like us and everything, and no one discriminates around here.
I mean, my friend Tommy Stocks, I've known him since I was 4 years old, and I still talk with him to this day.
Right on, baby.
So I don't, like I said, but you know what we're seeing today, it's in your face. I mean, half of it isn't really racism. It's just prejudice, extreme prejudice. But it's just bullshit.
I was
the
trying to-
screaming match between people about like the fact that color of your skin even gets brought into a conversation irks the shit out of me.
And you know it irks the shit
What
out
does the
Wait,
Sorry, man,
let me
go.
follow that one. Yo, it irks the shit out of a lot of white motherfuckers, man. But you know what? Motherfuckers who, because of the color of skin, been going through a lot of shit, you want that conversation bad. You want him
Yeah.
to be aware of race and know the things that you know, right? You know, I'm like, I want to educate motherfuckers as much as possible, and they're like you. I don't want to hear it as much as possible. Stop bringing it up. So we keep classing.
Yeah, I take the Morgan Freeman point of view, I think, on that.
That gay ass Uncle Tom, what'd he say?
He said, "You want to stop racism? Stop talking about it."
Yeah,
And I'm
I knew I hit it on the head.
Uncle Tom, listen
House
to you.
nigga. He's a good master. That's he's a
Oh,
good
listen
master.
to you. Because he got the white money. Is that why? That's why
It
he's like
had
that.
to be,
He,
yeah,
he
too,
wants to keep the white money.
Hey, back in the 70s, you know, he had the afro and the fist in the air, Joe.
Well, now, I mean, shit, he's even played God now, okay? So,
I know, right? Hey,
Ultimate
man.
white dude.
Black folks moving up, man. Morgan Freeman's playing God. Come on.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I mean, I get
Who'd have
frustrated
thought?
when I try to have a conversation and you bring that shit up, Joe. I'm like, motherfucker, he's going to bring this shit up. I was having a good conversation. So today I said, you know something? Today I'm going to fucking bring it up. I'm going to fucking bring it up, you bastard.
Just beat him to the punch. That's all.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, for once, I'm going to start on this shit.
I need it. And then the end of that conversation, Steve, is where you are. It's irrelevant. We are all the same. We're in the same boat.
But it's not irrelevant to everybody. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
irrelevant to me, but it's not irrelevant to everybody. It's very relevant for a lot of people.
It's stupid, important, I guess, because people are just so fucking ignorant. It's the dumbest
Yeah.
shit in the world to think that we're different races. Come on, do you not go to fucking science school? I went to public school. I know better than that. We're all the
Yeah.
fucking same
I
person.
guarantee you got
Yeah,
the
I'll
same
believe the
damn
same. That's
color
for
blood
damn
I
sure.
got. I
Yeah,
guarantee
yep.
it.
Man, come on.
I've never understood that because, yeah, I don't give a shit what color you are. Who are you?
Yes, but we've been tricked, so I got to learn that
Oh,
language. Same with politics. I got to learn the language. I hate politics. I think it's
But
so.
that's
Politicians
what's
are the-
divided. That's what's
politicians are the only one
divided
that
us,
divide us.
Joe. The left and right
Politicians are the only
false
one that divide us.
dichotomy. It's the left and right false
You know?
dichotomy that's divided us.
Fuck
Fuck
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, shit. All together. I mean, hell. Together. I mean, the conversations that we're having, especially the conversation we're having right now. It's like, dude, I guarantee you that piss off 90% of the folks in Washington just because we're having a peaceful conversation about this kind of shit.
I feel like that.
Nobody's throwing white boy, nigger, or anything like that around. You know,
Oh, he went with it.
I dropped a hard R. I give no fucks because we are having this conversation and we're having it's a peaceful conversation. We're getting somewhere with it, and it's the kind of conversation that needs to be spread around.
I can only speak for myself, but I'm not divided. I'm definitely all in one piece.
You know?
Now we know.
Not just with white and black, and I need all white motherfuckers. I want 80, 90%.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with nothing less. I need to get along with 80, 90. We need to be united. Big
Hell
number.
yeah.
Not
Amen,
just
Well,
bro.
if
like
we're
black.
united, they can't split us. They can't tell us bullshit anymore. We can tell them what the hell. See, this is the problem. We can't tell them.
Steve, I wasn't finished. I
Okay.
also needed to be between the cops and the citizens. I need them on my side. I
Yep.
needed to be between the Democrats, Republicans. I can't do the battle shit with them. I need to win them over. That's what I was going to say.
Well, maybe we should stop calling ourselves Democrat or Republican. We just call ourselves citizens and them the fucking government, and that's how we should be divided. So we can figure, because that's where the real problem is. See, they've divided us so much, we have no power against them anymore because we're too busy hating each other.
That's right. That's
I mean, all this shit's over a fucking hyphenated name.
What?
We're all fucking Americans.
Yep.
Yeah.
See,
fuck
the
a
thing-
hyphen.
I got
We're
you.
all fucking Americans.
Yeah.
You know.
The thing over, not sure how much time, but with, I suppose, varying minorities, they were in separate groups. There was Latin, there was Black, there was, I don't know, Hispanic, any of the others, but over the years they've been compressed together to where now they're all stuck in one pen, people of color.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what put them all in one
pretty
pen?
colorful.
Well, true. Nothing wrong with that.
But
What I'm saying is that means there's one person. It's sort of like the man controlling the greater pen rather than allowing them to have individual thought. That's what I'm saying.
Why
Yeah.
can't we all be people of culture, not color?
Well, that's just it.
There
But
you
here's
go.
the problem: it's polarizing. To say black and white, that's the polar opposite of each other. We're
Well, then
not.
I vote.
But let me finish. There's no one who's black and there's no one who's white. No one's white.
There's
Not even.
intelligence in using that term. You're right. It's like it's designed to fracture something.
Yeah,
it is.
I vote we all share our cultures with each other so we can be multicultural and it'll all work out.
Oh
My
no, but
culture is appreciated. People think people with baggy pants and loud music are the devil. My culture is so not appreciated.
yeah, but it's not even that. I mean, geez, I love other cultures, but we get accused of cultural appropriation if I wear my hair different.
I know,
if,
right?
if I eat certain foods, I mean, holy shit.
Well,
You
we
gotta be
hear
kidding me.
different every day.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We see it. We see the cancel culture out there trying to divide us, trying to destroy what the melting pot of the United States is. What made us so beautiful is that everybody came here and everybody could be themselves. But now they're just fucking it up.
Now it's keep
Well, some people are
over there and build a wall. Them damn Mexicans fucking shit up.
I want to wear a sombrero and Speedo just as much as Steve does.
I ain't got no problem with the Mexican wall. I got a problem. We need a wall. We're on the wrong damn river. We need one stopping the Californians from coming here.
The fucking Canadians, those evil fucks.
Yeah, no shit,
know, right?
man. Damn commies.
for you Californians who are in the chat. He didn't mean it seriously. He was just joking.
Whoa.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
That was pretty fucking serious. No, wipe your shit off. Look, welcome to Texas. Just wipe
your shit off into Mexico before you cross the state line.
Don't track your shit into Texas. That's all.
California is its own state as well, man. Nobody follows the speed limit, man, in California. I mean, like 20 miles per hour. If you do the speed limit, you are a hazard on the streets there.
Yep.
They drive different in California. The whole fucking state, man. When you hop on the fucking interstate, if it say 65, you better do 80, 85 just to start.
Oh, dude, that's the same here in Texas.
Yeah, 75
same
going
in Maryland.
Go 45 down to Houston, 75 mile an hour zone. If you're not doing 90, you're getting past.
Yes, that type of shit, right?
Yeah.
And I be carrying a lot of weed, so I got to do the speed limit. And man, don't they be passing me left and right, yo?
Nah, man. Nah, dude, don't do the
disavow
speed limit. That's the first thing you get you caught. You'd be like, no. This
Stop
guy's doing
telling
something.
on yourself.
YouTube, I disavow.
This guy's doing some
Don't
illegal
demonetize
shit.
me.
He's doing the speed limit. We need to pull him over and find out why he's going so slow.
Right?
Yeah, in all honesty,
That's what there's a term for that. There's a term for that in the police department. It's called penguin walking.
Oh,
Yep.
Yes, when someone is obviously going like the speed limit's 50 and they're doing 40 and they're in some really nice car, they're like, oh well, this piece of shit could go a lot faster. Why are they going so slow? Or when someone is walking away from the police officer and you see them walking and it's a weird walk they have when they're trying to hide something, like that nervous walk that they have. It's called penguin walking.
I can see it. I can picture it. I know what it is. It's kind of a aimless. It's not a like you have a destination as walk.
It's not a natural walk. There's some nervousness going on there.
Yeah, I can see it. I can head on the spot. Time I heard that was from police, reading a police book when I was a kid. You can tell the guy who's got the drug because he's got a head on his swivel. I thought it was the coolest motherfucker I ever met. And the whole book was about his theory was that you cannot be a white motherfucker and come to a black neighborhood and not end up a racist if you become a cop. I had to read that fucking book. And
I bet.
Well,
think about it. If you're arresting black people every single day of your life, eventually it's going to be like, motherfucker, all the black people are committing crimes.
Violent, yo, damn.
Yeah.
And it's and out the way we densely populated, they're overwhelmed. They're probably getting calls all fucking day, arguments. They think we crazy as fuck, yo. He also had a good story about some people ran into the house to kill everybody in the house. A few, 2, 3 of them made it to the basement. They tried to hide. One jumped on the rug and turned himself really hard and rolled up in the carpet. They came down, killed the other 2. No one saw him. When the police were down, they had to find all the bodies. They had been down there a while. They had noise coming out the carpet. He couldn't unroll. He couldn't build up momentum. And so he made noise and they unrolled the carpet. And he saved his life doing that shit. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
That's brilliant.
Damn.
Shit, man, if I did that, it'd be one big ass carpet.
I know, right?
I probably couldn't get one roll.
That rug
It's
looks like
a
a fat
lumpy
ass
rug, man.
Be a blanket. Just be a blanket.
You ain't fooling nobody. Right? Just get a blanket.
It's like, come look here.
A blanket.
That's
Oh,
one of those
shit.
scenarios. We're gonna need a bigger rug.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's some funny shit.
Shit, right? Hey, we see you, motherfucker.
You see this big bulge in the middle? I look like some big Bahama joint. I look like this big old rolled up Bahama joint.
Some Bob Marley shit right there.
This show is so fucking demonetized. I don't even care anymore.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to shut this thing down. It's getting late.
Yeah,
I gotta get up in 5 hours.
I think this was my first time here, bro. I really enjoyed this shit. I've been
On the rig, yeah, it's the first time here, yeah.
Oh man,
I'm glad you're here, brother.
I'm
Glad you're
glad
here.
back anytime.
And looking for you. Know I am a fiend and I am a fan, Steve. I don't see you enough, and I tell other people, so I'm gonna tell you, man. I think you, when it comes to having insights, I'm not talking about fucking book smarts and all that shit. I'm talking about fucking vision, wisdom. You are one of the top 2 niggas that I've run into in this fucking community, Joe. Yeah, I hold your esteem that high, bro. When it comes to that right there, your bravery, you'll say what needs to be said. You'll turn on the dime if you see logic that changes the way you think. All adult shit, Joe. And I see it. It take another motherfucker to see it, and I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man.
Thanks for coming, Joe.
All right.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut this thing down. I'll start dropping people down. Anybody got any last words before I close this thing down?
Just want to thank everybody for coming. We hope you enjoyed the show. We had a few giggles and some serious stuff,
Yeah.
but we hope you come away with it feeling like you spent your time well. That's it.
And we'll try to open up the panel at least once a month. Yeah, I think that would be good. You know.
Later, you guys.
Yep.
Take it easy, Nevaeh.
Okay, who's next?
Well, I'll say, first of all, I've never met Joe Cool before, but great perspective.
Yeah.
I mean,
Joe Cool and I have screamed at each other, laughed. It doesn't matter. We always come back. We're always friends, so it doesn't matter. I just like messing with him sometimes.
It helps see a bigger picture. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, guys, I'm gonna shut this thing down.
All right.
You guys have a good one. Let me start clearing things out here. And everybody, I really, really hope you enjoyed being part of the Resurgence Innovative Group, otherwise known as The Rig. Please come again and join us. We have streams. We try to do it every Tuesday, 9:30 Central Standard Time. And that is... we try to keep to that schedule. This is the first open panel we've actually had. So we tend to keep them closed, but I think we're going to do this once a month. We'll open up and let people come in and talk. And I really appreciate it. So until next time, enjoy, everybody.